And we're live on Friday. Friday Night Live. Almost forgot to put on Discord. Almost, but didn't. So we got time. Let's see. Hey, Alec, what's going on? First one here. Very nice, very nice. How's that peach high noon? Hey, Avilio, good to see ya. Your name's so fun to say. Avilio. Avilio. Really, it's fun. Get started here in a few. And the last name's cool too, Delgado. So what's your favorite high noon, Alec? If not peach, I actually like peach. I think peach is pretty good. I don't like black cherry, but my number one is probably peach. If we're not talking the tequila ones, strawberry tequila is pretty good. What else is there? Watermelon's okay. Pineapple's whatever. It's fine. I feel like pineapple is like the blandest now because it was the first one. Yeah, pineapple's fine. I've had way too many of them. It's probably the real issue. Oh, I'm looking at this. I never updated anything, by the way. Watermelon tastes too fake. I would say that about black cherry. I have the other, maybe it's just blackberry? I forget. I gotta add here on Discord. Yes, and yes, I know. I'm gonna tell 90 people, whatever. 3 will join. Yeah, I think after I have about 2, they all taste the same anyway. Yeah, the lime ones are okay. I agree with you. Because they taste like margaritas. They're basically sugary. Can you guys hear the music or no? I feel like it's not playing in the background there on the desktop audio. Oh, now it is? Is that good? Too much? Too little? You tell me. You do? Okay. I might have put it up too high then. Yeah, I need to like go to bed after this today. I'm getting up early to work out, getting back into my workouts. Showcases got me all like thinking about I'm a fat bastard who needs to be working out more. So he never said that, by the way. But yeah, he inspired me. I was like, oh, I gotta get back to it. All right, what do we got? Couple of minutes. We'll get started here in just a moment. Start going through all this fun stuff. I'm pretty sure this is not anywhere near this number now. That's definitely not. That's like that much. This is something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and this is even less. This is like 500. I have no cash. This might be the lowest I've ever seen myself. Hey, Crazy Jay, good to see you. Good. I saw you asking some good questions in the 6-week challenge course channel this week. Bob got you an answer, so I didn't double up on it, but glad to see that you're using that channel. DT, good to see you. Who's drinking tea in the U.S.? Well, it's chamomile. Is it even tea if it's chamomile tea? What's up, Lord Mar? Oh, do you? Okay. Well, look. One thing I haven't done is put the dark background up on the Discord. So if you guys and girls like it, let me know. I will put it on there. I didn't think anyone was really gonna care, but I just was getting tired of being blinded all the time. Every time I opened it up, I was like, surface of the sun. Hey, Justin made it too. Awesome. We got full house today. I don't know why. I didn't think anyone was going to join today. I was like, it seems quiet. So, but here we are. What is this? Is this right? Oh, it is. Oh, that was the Reddit sale. It's throwing me off. What a week. Is everyone surviving? I hope so. Yeah, this number, there's no way this number is this high. This is probably like 925. I gotta fix this all, but this is definitely like 185. That's actually probably about right. That's actually probably about right. This is more like 69, 420 maybe. Probably after today's action. So what did we hit? Yeah, we hit 1%, right? Yeah, just barely, but we did it. We did it only because the port value dropped. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That's what happens sometimes. Good days of Reddit. Hey, this is not a bad time to be looking at it, though. We're real close to the 100 moving average. I'm not as worried about even the gap fill anymore, to be honest. And everything that happens between now and earnings doesn't even matter. You're talking a couple of weeks, so get in while you can, I guess. I got assigned some shares that I honestly didn't expect to get assigned. I sold at the money, 200 Ps, which we'll talk about in a bit. I gotta lower this a little bit on my end, actually. I don't know if you can hear that static, sorry. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, it's 8 o'clock. It's time. Welcome to Rise's Week in Review for a week that I wasn't even really participating in much of anything this week. I had family over for the last 10 days straight, my wife's family and then my family. And I love them, but man, it feels good to have my house back to myself, to be able to walk around in my underwear all the time. I don't do that. I mean, I do, but not like, not like when, whatever, this is going in the wrong direction. But it's good. It's good to have your time back to yourself. The downtime, even like at night, I'd be hanging out with my dad. My dad was over and talking till way too late. And then it's like straight to bed. And I usually have this kind of routine most people probably have where you can actually fall asleep the next day or the next day that night. And I didn't have it. I had to just kind of go straight to bed and hope I fell asleep. And thankfully I did most of the time. But it can be tough. Hey, Good Theta. I know you. I know who that is. Mr. Saul. You live with your parents and wife and son. It's a lot. It is a lot, dude. I feel for you. Hopefully it's voluntary. It's the only thing I can say. And if it's not, hopefully it's temporary, assuming you want it to be. But that said, because of that, this was a fun week for me in that I know it was a wild week, but I didn't really look at anything the whole week. I was just like, I made some sells. I bought some stuff back early on, resold some stuff, and then not panic sold, but sold some stuff just to get stuff into the hopper, as it were. And so yeah, everything was like boom, 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 hit, and now I didn't do much. I let everything go to expiration. There were probably times where I could have bought back, but definitely no like 90% profit times that I noticed in the times that I was glancing. But funny stuff. I mean, there's not a whole lot I want to go through here. The only real thing of note is I'm well below my normal cash position, and my run rate has dropped from the absurdity that it was to a more sensible level of this 15K a year or a month or a week, whatever, run rate or 1%. There were some big weeks here that were really driving that average up dramatically, and the last 8 weeks has calmed down a little bit. So that's cool. I'm fine with that, by the way. Like that, there's going to be big weeks and there's going to be lower weeks. And this week I thought would be a lower week, but then it wasn't. And the last week was only a lower week in looks, because I made an in-kind transfer from Strategy to IBIT, and that was strategic in just getting out of Strategy and a treasury. So, overall, like, it's been great despite the insanity in the market with the whole tariff stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, I got a lot of new things. These aren't the entire holdings anymore. Google's gone. We doubled up on CoreWeave. We added Reddit, more Reddit. We added more Bull. Hims never got called away. GME is adding 1,000 shares. We added Joby. We added a couple other things. So yeah, let's start looking at the trades. Again, this is probably my shortest list that I've had in, I couldn't tell you how long. Somebody else in this file? Oh, I am. I'm in it in another spot. That's funny. Where am I on? Oh, I'm probably on the laptop. Yeah, so, we started the week off with buying back a Reddit CC in my taxable. I ended up not reselling this, but I wanted out of it anyway, at that 80% profit in a day. That made sense to me. And then I never got myself convinced that I wanted to resell for a week or two out because earnings is coming up. And I'm like, at this point, I'm actually probably going to sit out for a couple weeks of selling CCs on Reddit. Maybe not next week. We'll see. But I might not do Mondays, right? I might wait till Wednesday or Thursday. So if there is a big price action, it's less likely to really throw me off of it. And I want to be in Reddit at earnings because I do think they're going to have more good earnings, as we saw in the last one. So I'm excited about that. And then CoreWeave, same deal. I just sold and bought back for 75% profit. This was great. In fact, I should move this up to here so we can see, collectively 3,500 across 500 shares is essentially $7 a contract. And if you net all this out, which it doesn't, right? Because this isn't negative. I guess I can just make it negative real quick and net it out. It nets out to $7.10, right? $7.10 instead of had I just held on to that 385 at the beginning. This is where the beauty of buyback comes in, where there are times like it can be give and take, right? There are going to be times where it works out great. There are going to be times when it doesn't really buy you a whole bunch. But in this case, it was fantastic. It was, I sold it for not quite 50 cents more. It was 40 cents more. But if I had sold that option originally at $7, what percent is that individual trade, right? So 710 divided by 130, 140, because it was a 140 option. That's a 5% return. That's amazing. And I was convinced it was going to get called away until everything went to shit. And somehow we ended up back at 136. But you know what? I'm ecstatic to have gotten another 500 shares, by the way, at 140. And I will sell. Clearly, I will continue to sell CCs on this next week. I may even wait a little bit because as we're looking at CoreWeave here, there's just a very bullish couple of things going on. We had a hammer here. This was interesting, right? I think that's good. I think that was a good sign for us where we dropped all the way down there for a retest on the 100-day moving average, simple moving average. And yet we finished well above it, back at the 8 EMA. That's fantastic, just under the 8 EMA. And the other thing that's happening, and Average Advisor called this out, he says, look at when the 34 EMA crosses the 100 on the daily chart. We're on the daily, right? And the last time that happened, where was that? There was no last time. The last time it crossed another moving average, we just spiked up, and it was the 50 in that case. So I have it marked out just as a learning experience to see what happens, because I'll be interested if on Monday we will be crossed. This will most definitely cross on Monday. I actually thought it was going to cross on Thursday, if not today, but then we had some big price action down from up top. And if it takes off again, I will CC it up here and continue to wheel it. I thought about this, and my take on CoreWeave at this point is I'm interested in it probably into like the 180s. Let me put the fibs on here. And, oh, it was on. Are the fibs? The fibs are what's going on here? Why are the fibs down there? From because of that, obviously. Anyway, I think we're gonna end up back at the all-time peaks here on the next run-up, and I want to be there for it. And I would love to have. Maybe we'll do this now. What did I get in a 140? What's 50% on 140? 210. So like maybe our price target is gonna be 210 for when I want to wheel this until. And I don't know when this is going to hit. I really don't have any inkling of, are we going to get up there here, or is it going to be multiple earning sessions from now, next year? Who knows? But with the premiums being what they are, on average, 3%, I will wheel this thing forever. And I like it at a 10% position, which is about what we're at now. Yeah, actually slightly more than 10%, mostly because the value of my port has dropped a bit. But yeah, it's a good spot to be, I think, for this. And I should actually edit this so it's actually, you know, at 210, because I don't think it is. Coordinates. Oh, it's close. Okay, cool. Perfect. That's at 210. And yeah, you know, again, are we going to do this? I don't know. We'll leave that there for now, but there's definitely, you could definitely draw a trend line here of when we might expect to get there. Maybe something like this, which would put us in January. I mean, that's not a long time to get 50% on your money along with CCs on the way up, ideally, right? So I like it. I like it. All right. Oh, you guys are talking. I'm sorry. I need to catch up on chat. Who will let me just yammer away here? What did I miss? What did I miss? The good days of Reddit. Yep. Caught that. Strategy's been a dookie. Oh, micro. I thought you meant like wheeling. Sorry. Yeah, no, strategy's been terrible. Let's look at the I took it off my watch list. That's a big deal. Ugh. Okay, here's what I got. I made a new view. Did we look at this last time? I don't know. We got... Yeah, okay. So I made a 4-window... Oh, it looks good. But my head's blocking it. All right, I'll turn off the camera here for a second. So we've got the big charts here of strategy and IBIT, FA, and Metaplanet. And look at, I put them on the bottom for a reason, because they're depressing to look at Metaplanet and strategy. But like, look how much they have just tanked. Both of them. Both of them have had this insane downtrend. And that is not the trend that we're seeing from the same point on Bitcoin. And certainly not on Ethereum, but Ethereum is, you know, whatever, a little bit different. I know that. This was a suggestion from Average Advisor and Bob Dog to me when I said, hey, I want out of strategy. What do you think is the best thing to be in? And they were like, well, I wouldn't do all Bitcoin. I'm like, well, that sounds like gibberish to me. So what are you saying? Use your words. And the words they used were IBIT and FA. And I'm like, okay. And I said, what are you thinking? Like 80-20 gold silver ratio? And they're like, no, I'd do 50-50. So I did, actually. I did 50-50. And it was fine, actually. I kind of like it that way. So I stuck with it. And I'm glad I did, because you can see what's happening with these treasuries are I wouldn't say they're decoupling, because they're not, right? You can see this spike here. We've got the same thing going on for strategy here, but it's an aggressive downtrend on top of it. For one, it's not a company, right? So like there's no, I mean, it is a company. There's no revenue or product besides the investments that they make in Bitcoin. So you would think that there's a leveraged component to it, which there is. But the thing is, because of how it's detached from Bitcoin long ago, it is now, I think, returning to the mean of asymptotically approaching a multiple of 1 point something. And the 1 point something is essentially whatever their leverage is my idea on where they're going to end up. And the same's true for Metaplanet, the freaking hotel chain. Look at them. They're at 277. I bought here and sold here in the same day one time, and then I never touched it again. And I was like, Bob Dog, when do we get back in Metaplanet? And he's like, I wouldn't touch it unless it touched 5. And then it never did. And then all of a sudden, by the time it was at 5, it was like, oh, I meant I would never touch it. We both felt the same way on that, by the way. So, yeah, this is one that, and I'm sorry for anyone who might be a holder of it and want to hear something different, but that is my opinion on these treasuries. I don't really see the long-term value in holding them when you can just buy the underlying or equivalent, in this case, IBIT, and I can sell options on IBIT and ETH, whatever. Do you call it ETH or ETH? I don't know. Sounds like a drug. To fix the fibs, you need to use retracement instead of extension or vice versa. Yeah, I've never actually tried doing that. I should probably try doing that one day. Yeah, dude, Meta at Planet, not Meta Planet at 277. 240 shares? Well, if it makes you feel better, it's not worth a lot. So, although that probably makes you feel, I'm sorry. That's like 240 high noons. You could literally drink through your Meta shares. That'd be fun. All right, let's go back to the other window here. I'm not doing a very good job of making people feel better today. I'm realizing that as I talk. So back to what we were talking about, which was, trading. We somehow got off of CoreWeave. CoreWeave's fantastic. I love this stock. I'm happy to have 1,000 shares instead of 500. I'm happy to have made $3,500 off of that. It feels good. It feels good. Oh, wait a second. Did I not resell? Am I talking backwards, or did I miss a transaction? This is a CC. I thought I resold it. I did resell it. I resold 140s. Oh, I'm losing my mind. Okay, anyway, I'll fix this later. Joby. Joby was another one that I'm kind of happy with at this assignment right now. 50 cents on the 1650 was a nice little 3%er. And, oh, there's a bug and I want to kill it. Hold on a second. I got to mute myself before I... Oh, he flew away before I could mute myself. So, yeah, $1,000 on 32K, 33K. Not bad. I'll take that. And now I got 2,000 shares of it, which I had a couple weeks ago at the same exact price. And this is how wheeling works. This is like classic wheel in action. And I got into it when it spiked down or dropped down to here. It was in here. It was in the handle. And then I got assigned in the spike out of the handle. So this was a pretty good cup and handle. And then I decided to sell options on it, I think somewhere on this green day on the upswing. I think we were already over 17 or something, but I got a good price at 50 cents. And then obviously Friday happened. Thursday and Friday happened. But like, look, we tested off this 15 fib, 1528, whatever it was, 1524. And I fully expect that we're going to head back to where we were. There's really no reason this stock, which by the way, is still bullishly stacked EMAs. This is such a short-term action that I don't really worry about this. I imagine we end up somewhere here, right? Like not necessarily boom, but like maybe here. And I will happily cover this at 20. Maybe not 20. Sorry, not 20. 18, 17.50, $18 probably in that range next week. Ideally, we open Monday slightly green. That would be a nice little recovery to see. I don't have extended hours on. It's not updated anyway. So I'm not sure if anyone has easy access to. Well, I guess I do. I can look on my phone too. Post, let's see what it's doing to post. Plus 131%, 1.31%. So it's at 1587 right now. So, I mean, hey, that's not a bad start to getting back. That's back right around here. And that's pretty close. We're at break even. The cost basis is $16 based on the 16.50 minus the 50 cents that I sold the option for. So going into next week, that is a great place to be. And even though it had a red day today, I'm just like, okay, thanks. Thanks for the shares. I didn't think I was getting the shares, but I'm happy to have them now. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, so that was Joby. Anyone else into Joby? Oh yeah, we got to get the ons. I have ons. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're gonna talk ons. My $10 ons. Next up is Oscar. Oscar's another one where I don't know why I'm not showing extended hours here. Let me check. What if I turn it off and then turn it on? That did not solve the problem. Come on, TradingView, get your act together. Well, anyway, we're gonna look at Oscar. What's Oscar at after hours? Has anyone got it? Oh, it doesn't show it on the daily. Ah, yeah, but then it messes up the chart when I switch it to have the extended hours, right? What is that here? What am I doing? Where is it? Is it time zone? No. What am I missing? All right, someone tell me what button I'm missing pressing. I thought I was under ADJ, and it's not. It's just... No. Is it on the 2 hours? No, it doesn't show it there either. All right, well, if you guys remember how to do it... Oh, there we go. Okay, we got there. Wait a second, it doesn't have it here either. You lied to me. All right, now we're going to look it up on Yahoo. 1940? Okay. Let's see. Oh, I don't even have Oscar on my watch list. Oh, how embarrassing. Let's put that in. A little star action for Oscar. All right, it's up 0.1%. Nothing. But anyway, what did I sell this one at? This one was sold at 70 cents. I'm actually above break even on this, believe it or not. And Oscar was kind of all over the place these last few days too, right? I'm going to go back to my daily. Stupid extended hours. There we go. There's my... All right. So, this did something similar to HIMS, by the way. We can look at both, like bounce back and forth. We both had oddly timed, similarly timed cup and handles, right? HIMS and then Oscar. Not too far away from each other. That's I think it's coincidental, but kind of neat anyway. But yeah, look at where we're at. I mean, we've had a great few weeks here, and anything above this 1850, I feel pretty comfortable with, and we're still stacked very bullishly here. So I am a fan of this. Where we go from here, I don't know. You know, a lot of it's going to depend on the macroeconomics of what's going on right now. But most important to me, if we open flat to slightly up, I'm going to be able to sell CCs on this for damn near 50 to 70 cents, which is minimally 2.5%. In fact, we can look at the options on this as of Friday, today, close. And what is, wrong one. We want to go to 24th, right? Yep. What is 20 bucks? 20 bucks is selling for, oh wait, is that bid ask? Bid ask, yeah. Okay, so the bid ask is 75 cents. That's better than what I sold it for the CSP. This is amazing. This is the dream. And I'll happily do that. Now, I may even do 21 to get the extra $1 out of it by selling, you know, if I sell 21 and it gets called away, I'll make $1.50 on it a share versus 75 cents. So that probably will make sense, even though, you know, it's sometimes you got to consider, do you want the sure thing, which is selling at 20, sure thing? It's not a sure thing, but it's the highest profit if not called away. But if you think that the stock is generally bullish and will continue to go up over time, well, 21, if not even 22, which has a lot of volume, by the way, is a good place to be looking. 22, if I can get it for 30 cents, would sell for $2.30 a share, which I think I got 1,000 shares, was it, or 2,000? 2,000. So I mean that would be 40. What did I say? 230. Yeah, 230 would be $4,600. I mean, $4,600 on that capital is pretty good, I would say. Hey, what's going on, Chill? Good to see you as well. Yeah, I think this was a fantastic. These are fantastic outcomes. I didn't think I was getting these shares. And notice my notes, which, by the way, I wrote this when I sold these. I haven't touched these or even looked at them since then. Nice price point recently. Still agree. Good price to own. Still agree. I know, not the most original sounding comments. I'm sorry. I was probably talking to my dad at the time when I was doing this. But yeah, these are great. This is where you want. This is what you want to see with the wheel. Do it. Just do it. You want shares to get assigned. And then you want to be able to sell them, especially on the CC side, for above what you paid. That's the dream. Getting assigned is good. You got to remember that if you want to make like the most money in wheeling. Ideally, what happens is you get assigned right around where you sold the CSP, like right at it, which, you know, really this is within your cost basis that you now have. Or above. So like there's a little window that's the ideal, the blue zone, the Goldilocks zone. I don't know. There's probably other terms that we should be using here. Goldilocks zone is pretty good though. We'll do that just right in the middle. And then next week, if we open at 20, 21, which is not out of the question, by the way, we gap, Oscar gaps. Well, guess what? If we gap up to 20, we're selling really nice CCs. Then we're selling 21, 22 for 50, 70 cents, right? And that's where you kind of supercharge your income with the wheel by doing exactly that, getting assigned shares so that you can also sell on the other side. Now, obviously, there are times where it drops, but you have to have a multi-week, a multi-month outlook at times, like I have with Reddit right now, for one, and ONS and some others that are I'm a little saltier about than Oscar. You can see I want to talk about Oscar a lot because it went well. We're going to talk about this one for a half hour and like 30 seconds ONS max. But no, it's good. It's good. This is what you want to see. So I think we're also wedging right now. Like for sure, there's some wedgie action going on here. What it's going to end up being, I don't know. This is probably going to end up being like. This, right? I think we'll have some nice green days here soon. And then I don't know what'll happen by the time we get to earnings. Wedging towards earnings is not unheard of, right? So like again, actually now that I'm looking at it, let's draw that to earnings. So maybe here, and then we don't know what this other line's going to look like. So I'm just going to pick an angle that could make sense. Like just try to mirror basically the angle that we had. There's probably a function that does that in TradingView. I haven't really thought about that. And in doing this, we can get a feel for likely price action to the next big catalyst, which is not far out. It's November 6th. So we have time now, especially if so there's two things that you can do. Depending on how bullish you are on the stock itself, like Oscar as an example, I know Bob Dog's really bullish on. He's drawing all these Elliott wave theories things going on. And I would imagine he's saying right now we just completed wave 2. Something like that, right? And we're going to take off and maybe earnings, we don't know. Maybe we'll take off for wave 3 here for earnings. So in that potential scenario, where do you want to be? Do you want to be we have stability going to earnings. That's a fairly known fact. Because there is a catalyst in sight, I don't expect wild price action. Now, you might call this wild price action, but I would call this pretty normal for the size market cap that Oscar is, which is $4 billion, right? Not a mega company, a decent size, small capish still, really. And if we stay in this wedge, then we get to decide, do we want to play earnings or not? Do we want to sell if we still have shares? Do we want to sell at the money and protect our downside as much as possible, but also still make profit on the way out? Or do you take advantage of the premium, sell further out of the money calls, and maybe hit it big and get called away at like 25? I don't know. I'm thinking about it out loud. You were happy to get Oscar called away at 16 when you were holding it for like a month under that. Yeah, well, that's me and BBAI. You're not the only one. So yeah, those are things I'm thinking about when I look at something like Oscar. Now, while we're on the topic of healthcare, let's talk Lilly real quick. I am somewhat kicking myself, but not really, because I wasn't really paying attention to the market. But I was thinking about this yesterday. I saw we were minus 4% pre. I'm not sure how low we went. I think we went as low as like 770s for a brief instant after hour, maybe. I guess I could look at that, right? Let's look at the 2 hour. 2 hour, and did we ever break? Yeah, we were at 775. I thought I saw that. I would have liked to have bought Lily X here if I was really paying attention, and I wasn't. If I was sharp, I would have got that at 1420. Oh man, that would have been nice. I probably would have went for it at 1450, somewhere in this range, and just taken whatever fill I got. And that would have been a beautiful swing trade today. But, you know, there was some negative news, and I thought it was silly news because it was something about like, I think this was based off of Trump saying that he was going to make weight loss pills or drugs cheaper. And like that statement can be scary, but the future is so far away, and nothing moves fast, right? Like you're talking maybe in 3 years that's a problem. I don't know. That's the type of news I love to take advantage of in swing trades, especially on a stock like Lilly. Like this is the famous one here, right? Where I was like, boom, this is so obvious. Bob thinks on this one we're just finishing wave 3, by the way. So we might be taking off again. No guarantees, some risk to it. But I like it. Even at this price, I might buy Lily X at if I can get in at 15, I might do that. But yeah, that was another one. Okay. I don't even have Lily. We're talking about it. But I think it's a good opportunity potentially. So I guess let's talk HIMSS real quick since we're on the healthcare kick before we go to anything else. What do we got? How's everyone in chat doing? NVO got hit the same. Yeah, so everyone did. Welcome to HIMSS Friday over here, by the way. Yeah, I know. I never touched the NVO stuff, but you know what? Maybe I should look NVO up real quick. Maybe this is a good leap entry for me because I did not get in down here as others did. What am I looking at? Why is the chart so jagged? Is this for real? It looks like a Nintendo level, like Mega Man. What the hell? Are we jumping on blocks? What? Does it move that little every day? Something seems off here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is it the volume crap or something? No, not really. It seems fine. That's weird. Maybe somebody knows. The volume is not that low. It's higher volume than Reddit. A random day here is 20 million. Reddit's like 10, 5, 10. So I'm a little surprised, to be honest. But we're not talking Reddit. I need to go back to where we were. HIMSS. We were talking about HIMSS. How did we get to all this other stuff? HIMSS is doing what it does on Fridays. And I don't even know why it dropped today, by the way. But I knew it was going to, because that's what we do on Fridays. What was this? Friday. Look at Friday. And then let's look at the next one. Friday. But wait, there's more. Friday. Okay, this Friday was okay. But like this was becoming a clear pattern, and not only were Fridays hilariously bad, they were big bad. Like this is a mega red candle, another mega red candle. I thought we were breaking out of the cup and handle, which we were, I guess. And then boom, something went red here. and CEO sold 11 million in shares. Okay, well, whatever. Is that really what what dropped it like that? This seems like an excuse. I don't know. Sure, is it a good sign when your CEO sells 11 million in shares? Isn't that scheduled though? So like, I don't know. I don't really care that much. No, I don't. Maybe it's in conjunction with that news, but Hims is a little different there. They're like resellers anyway. You sold it, dude. I wish I sold at the peak. That would have been. I was locked. I was covered though, and I couldn't sell because I was covered, unless I happened to have bought back here, which I wasn't gonna do. In fact, I think Tuesday is the day I actually sold these. So yeah, I could have bought back today, I guess. For what purpose, I don't know. But it's Hims, and I imagine tomorrow or Monday it'll be back at whatever it was. What's Hims? Did anyone look at Hims after hours? This is gonna be annoying every time I want to look at my phone for Hims. Someone's probably already looking at it. We're up 2%. So we're back at over 50, 65 posts. And that's not surprising to me at all. So like over here. So we're back to the 50 SMA. Yeah, it seems very unlikely we're not going to close back above the 100, which is 52.50. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't freak me out at all. I wanted to sell the shares at 56. I thought that, and it seemed almost certain because even after the big red day on Thursday, we were still above 56. We were at 50, almost 58. We closed in at 59, right? So I was like, maybe this time it'll actually go, because last time it didn't have multiple big bars in a row, and here we are, just puke all over the place. Big volume day too. But whatever, I think this is probably some Max Payne theory stuff going on, potentially, because we're seeing this repeatedly on Fridays. A little conspiracy theorist, I know, but I don't know what else it could be. It shouldn't have dropped like it did in comparison to Lilly, which recovered, NVO, which also I think recovered, right? Yeah, I mean, the patterns are not the same here. Oscar did go down, but then also had some recovery. So Hims is on an island here a little bit with how it reacted compared to these other. Hims basically continued to drop. And look, when you have basically no wick at the end, that's a rough day. That's a rough sell-off. And again, into post being up at 56 or 50.65. Sorry. Again, I don't panic about it. I look at this and I laugh. I'm like, well, I saw Bob Dog selling $50 CSPs for $2 or something earlier. Good call. I'm out of cash, but I would have joined him if I had it. I thought that was a good one. You sold more of them today too? Nice. 50 is definitely better than 55. I have right now with Hims, I will not go above 55 on a CSP. And in fact, I think my last one was 54, and prior to that 52. I can look it up, but I don't want to go heavy on them like that either, above 55. But Hims has been good to me, right? Like, if we look at the calc, which is directly behind my head right now, I mean, 33K on Hims is not a bad run so far. More to come there. This is just like a producer every single week. And the fact is, it was a 2%er at $1.25. Ideally, it was going to be 2% and $2 a share, which would have ended up being $3.25 or whatever that is, a bigger percentage, obviously. And that would have been fantastic. 6%, something like that. So didn't get it, but happy to sell it again next week. I mean, $1,200 for not doing shit is not really the worst thing in the world. And then we get to some of the less fun stuff, I guess. We did all of these. Oh, GME is fine. Let's talk GME too. So we sold, I thought it was 1,000 more shares. I did 2,000. 50 cents on 24 CSPs. Pretty good price. This is break even. No, we closed it. Did we really close at 2307? I thought we closed higher than that. Oh, we did. Okay. Well, whatever. Oh, and apparently I have pre-drawn a cup here, which I do think is going to happen. By the way, maybe we've already bottomed out. But what is GME after hours? Should be flat-ish. Let's see. GME is. I swear it's on my list. There it is. 23.12. Okay, so up a few cents, whatever. Nothing major. Somewhere up, right over here. And again, this was a big old drop on the back of the share and warrant issuance, and then which I have some of those as well. Very hard for me to explain, but instead of dividends, they issued warrants which can be exercised, and they're $30 warrants, so they kind of function as calls if the stock is over $30 by the time we get there. Anyway, it's I don't know how to explain it. Google it. ChatGPT can better explain it. It's confusing. You can think of it as a dividend that one day could be worth a decent amount on its own, and you can sell them separately, buy and sell them separately. So they're dividends, but you can kind of treat them like calls a little bit until they are next October, they come to like maturity, which is not a thing, not really what happens. Is a tweezer bottom the only candle body? Is only the candle body, or would those wicks count? Tweezer bottom is typically, this is a good one, actually. Generally, my understanding of the tweezers are, yes, you want to go from the red to the green to show the switch in momentum. We also have that on slightly oversold on the 2-period RSI. Not really oversold on the 14, but like slightly oversold. And the momentum is pretty deep red, which means that we might be turning out of it. All this says like cup to me. We also see it in the volume, especially if I get this big bar that's throwing us off the screen. You can see the cupping of the volume, right? So I think I could draw down here, right? So we're going down like a cup, descending like the cup here, and the idea would be that starting next week we would start seeing it ascending in line with the cup edges, which magically I drew. This one is not exactly on. Damn it, so close. I almost got lucky and had them all perfectly fit. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now the tweezers are, yes, red then green. They're usually, the idea is the bodies are similar sized with wicks, both having wicks on the bottom. And that is an indicator that sentiment, momentum, whatever has shifted, and the buying may start to turn around here, which seems likely. In fact, maybe my cup is slightly too big by 1 or 2, something like that. Maybe that's what we're looking at. I don't know. I'm tilted now though. Not like personally. The cup's tilted. It's gonna spill. So maybe that's what we're seeing. That lines up pretty nicely at points around the bottom. But because we dropped down here sooner, which is interesting. Look, we dropped to the 34 EMA, the 100 SMA, and then, I guess we only tested those two. Or we were testing all over the place, actually. Kind of cool. But yeah, I actually like the chart here, and the big thing on this one was somebody was telling me about the Pokemon stuff. Masley brought up the Pokemon cards, which I'm not a Pokemon person. I was born slightly before that became real popular. So like literally, I remember kids in high school, 1 or 2 years younger than me, all into Pokemon. And then basically everybody since then that's ever been born is into Pokemon. I missed the boat on that. That's okay. But I know well enough about it that you can't underestimate Pokemon cards. You can call them childish, you can call them whatever you want, but they sell like crazy. And one of the big things that makes me think this way is I follow a YouTuber, Phoenix Resale, and he I like him because he's a video game flipper turned into video game store opener, brick and mortar, actually. Amazon fulfillment, all in the same place. And I love it. I love starting businesses. I love that idea. I've thought about buying a video game franchise in the past. The Exchange was one. It's like a Midwestern chain. And I never did it. I have my own collection. I was like, yeah, like I love doing it. I love selling it. Well, tangent, long story, still long. He changed his business from selling video games to after he started doing some market research and looking at what these other store owners were doing who were welcoming him into their shops like, yeah, look, this is the business, this is how we work. They all sold Pokemon cards, and they all were like, you need to sell Pokemon cards. So the guy like me didn't know anything about Pokemon cards, so he literally hired Pokemon card experts, and then he went and bought a bunch of cards. Apparently did a shit job buying cards at like conventions and stuff. But anyway, got enough where he had a nice shop set up, and they were the biggest seller out of everything he had. Pokemon cards, people were bringing them in to trade in, people were bringing them to sell. And what GameStop is doing is that, but on like mega steroids, where they are holding the inventory of the Pokemon cards inside their own four walls, wherever those four walls are. I don't know, some warehouse somewhere, Fort Knox. There's probably a Pokemon reference that I could use that you would all like Blastoise or whatever the thing, Snorlax, I don't know. You get it. Give me a Fort Knox Pokemon, and they are grading them. And so they're essentially creating a certification system, an ecosystem. And here's the crazy thing. You can open digital packs and get these cards in the vault. You don't get them, but you can get them. You can physically have them send you the cards, and you can get really good cards. And they have packs that cost like $5, $10, $100. And so that whole like microtransaction loot crate thing that is going to attract whales. Sorry for screaming into the mic, but whales into this business model. I don't know if people can understand how big it is. Like, the potential of that is insanity if you consider how long running Pokemon has been. The nostalgia exists already for Pokemon collectors, right? Like, there are 35, 40-year-old Pokemon collectors, now that I'm thinking about my age, and they got money, some of these people. And what do whales do? Besides spend all their money on OnlyFans or whatever, the other thing they spend their money on are microtransactions in video games, especially when they don't leave their mom's basement. All right, I'm being mean, unnecessarily mean. There's a high probability, though, that there are a lot of people who are going to be interested in this because, one, if you aren't aware, there's a lot of scamming that happens in Pokemon packs that I've heard of anyway, and I don't know how true it is, but like, you can't buy Pokemon packs on Amazon because they weigh them, and they take out the ones that have the foil that weighs 0.001 grams more than the other packs. Well, guess what you don't need to worry about through a trusted vendor? Any of that. You can literally play the game the way you want to play it, perfectly in your mind of true randomness. And that's amazing. But here's where it gets even better. Because that the cards are staying in this vault, you don't need, if you want them, and I'm sure people are going to have cards that they want, but all these cards that you're getting, you can trade back in without them ever leaving the shop. Twice. Two head explosions on that one. So like, now we're talking about mega efficiencies on a trusted certified product that the market is global for, but the American market and Canadian and whatever is huge already. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, this is, I think this chart is going to way beyond explode past the 30s. I think we're 50s. I think we double. This is like a bald meme prediction on the memeiest stock that's ever existed. But let's make it official. Did I spell that right? Can you understand where I'm going with this? Does it make sense to you? I wonder. All right, let me listen now. Let me double check what I missed. What language? I don't know, dude. I don't know the language either. Ken Griffey Jr. Dude, I had Ken Griffey Jr. cards. I didn't even like baseball. They are better than CSGO skins. Why am I selling you on GME? Dude, I don't know. Ask Masley. He gets credit for this. He sold me on it conceptually, but it connected the dots of like, oh, people keep saying the same thing. GameStop's dying. I don't think it is. Their sales are going up. They have a boatload of cash now Bitcoin as well. So they're diversified. It's not just cash. They have a new business model that no one else has that I'm aware of. There's grading. Don't get me wrong. There's grading. There's resellers. There's resellers that grade. There is not an all-inclusive ecosystem that exists outside of what we're talking about. And you know, all that cash they've got, what do you think they've been doing? I guarantee they've been buying cards. And we're not done. You can do this with more than Pokemon cards. You could do this with retro games. Do you know how many Nintendo games were made? 565 or 655, something like that. Double that for Super Nintendo. Probably similar numbers for Sega, 1200-ish, something like that. I'm making this up a little bit, but you get the ballpark. Like, these things could be the same. You wouldn't get a pack of them, but you could gamble on, like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll gamble for a $10 Nintendo game. You're guaranteed at least a $5 game, and maybe you get a $50 game. That could be fun every once in a while. Better than Hearthstone packs. Remember waiting outside GameStop for WoW expansions. Wow. That's one for sure. They need to start selling gold. Yeah, they should. Costco 2.0. What's going on, man person? Feel like it's clear they aren't going away. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Hey, I didn't even see YouTube Premium made it. It's full port and careful there. If they do it for Pokemon and other types of cards, there could be a lot of money in it. Well, so think about this. My son is now into One Piece cards. I didn't even know this, but there's Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's like the card game genre is exploding. So this can be done for anything. I don't think they'll do it for sports cards, but they could. I think sports cards are long past their prime and not where I would put it. But like, I don't know, maybe Pogs are coming back. Hey, Mostly Curious, good to see you. That's a blue name I recognize. Cool. All right. Well, anyway, that's my GameStop pitch for the night that I didn't intend to spend 10 minutes on. So hopefully you enjoyed that hot take. Hey, by the way, can you guys do me a favor, and anyone who's chatting anyway and has the means to do this, can you hit the like button? Does it work like on a live stream? This is not actually me like trying to connive my way into likes, but I will say it at the end of the video if it does work. Is there a thumbs up button for it, or is it? Oh, I see a heart thing happen in the chat. That's interesting. All right, cool. Well, now all of a sudden the heart thing is floating. Oh, that's so nice. I appreciate you all. I'm supposed to ask for that. I guess that does stuff if you do it. Now I see all these emotions going. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. So very, very much. I'm realizing I never talked. I do have IBIT and ETH really cheap CCs that I need to add to this. They were like 25 cents, super cheap for 5 and 10 contracts. So like not material, but I guess it's something. Next up is Bull. Oh, Bull. Bull's a weird one, man. I don't know. I'm still in no way worried about Bull, despite now having 12,000 shares. I don't know why that sounds so ridiculous to say. I had 9,000 here. So, like, to have 12,000 here seems fine. All I can think, though, is this is the most freaking cuppy thing of all time. We never cup and handled here, so we're going to delete this part. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just draw another cup. Because I think it's just happening again. I think we're just, like, cupping into cups. And, yeah, it's going to be something like that. Maybe earnings is where we spike out of here, but this is very interesting to me because is there any meaningful news? No, there's never news on Bull. It's purely, you know what? I got to look to see if I'm loaning shares again on Bull because maybe it's just getting shorted like crazy right now. And there could be some connection to China. We looked it up. It is not Chinese owned. Like it seemed like it might be, and maybe there's big Chinese investors or the CEO is Chinese or something, but it's based out of Fort Lauderdale or something when we looked it up. It says it here. St. Petersburg, Florida. Florida, okay, whatever. And it is acting like Florida man for sure. It just keeps falling on its face repeatedly. So maybe we are cupping again. I don't know. I'm not worried. I don't know why. I feel like I should be worried, but I'm not because we just have such strong support. And as I referenced Bob Dog quite a few times, but as Bob Dog has said before, the shackles are off. There's no more warrant exercising going on. It's unlikely they're going to dilute again. They did a big dilution here. Unfortunately, I would have sold at a real nice price there, but I'd be back in no matter what by now. The premiums have been amazing, and I had it up earlier, but the Bull returns have been phenomenal. This is like 50% of the money I've tied up in it right now. That's amazing. Okay, maybe not. I have like 120K in it now, I think. Yeah. I want this number to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 5, 6, not 7. Oh my God, no, not 5, 6, 7. That would be over $1 million in Bull. Okay, I do, but not with any more shares. So all you got to do, Bull, is go to like 50, and we can make that happen potentially. Yeah, dude, 12K is way too much. I don't know how that happened. That was an accident, a happy accident. Yeah. But I don't really have a whole lot to say on Bull. I thought I was going to have more to say about it. My cost basis was at one point 14.75, then 13, then 14, and now it's like 13.50 or something, or 13.75. So it's fine. I'm definitely out of the money selling options on it right now, but I'll probably sell some 14s on it next week just to collect something, put the shares to work. It's fine. I don't know. I'm just not worried about it. So that's it for Bull. Did anyone want to talk about Bull beyond that? Yeah, I'm not going to buy more Bull. That's it. I'm done on Bull. They're in 14 mark. Yeah, dude, they're massive. They're massive. And they just have not enough earnings history. 2 earnings. We're only going to the third one now. And the first earnings was right after IPO, right? So, like, don't even count that first earnings. You can count the second one. But until we get to year over year, which is, by the way, not until here, who cares? Right? So, like, can I write on a vertical line? I guess not. Oh, I can. 1 year in business. Yay. What was it? May. Oh, it's April. April 7th. We can move that to right there. Cool. So look, we're literally, if I delete this for a second, we're only halfway there. Do you know what else did this? Very similar thing. God, I didn't realize the IPO hit that high. Let me show you another one that did this. You know what I'm gonna hit. You know it. Look at this. Does that look familiar? Did you know you could have bought Hood at $5? Well, maybe not 5. $6? Ha 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 ha! And you're buying Bull right now at 11? Look at that cup. That is a cup, by the way. For real, cup, handle. Did you ever look at this? I bet you never looked at this cup and handle. That is a legit. You even see it in the volume. Cup, handle, God arrow of all God arrows. Whoop, for real. Not even kidding. Like, pretty close to being spot on there. This is going to be on my chart forever now. I know this. Right? And we're going to draw it. One God arrow for the night anyway. Dude, look at that is a legit God arrow. But also, consider this. It is appropriate for the size of the cup and handle. Yeah? What do you think of that? Tell me. I want to know. It's a little crooked. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. Something like this. Close enough. Y'all can make fun of the cup all you want, but when it gets you rich, just remember who it was. Now, okay, it's a little flatter here, but we're also we can't look at the weekly really, and we do have to stretch things a little bit for this to make sense. But I do think that there's just a long way up for us to go here. Will it be this year? Maybe not. But I do think there'll be some action by here. And my cost basis isn't 11. What a great place to get in. It's 13, whatever. But where are we at the top of the cup? We're double that. I will take it. If we get there by a year from or a year from its inception, I will happily take that. And I think you will too. Now, if we go to where the top of the cup could be, which is the solid bar. The solid bar means we're going to the salad bar. This is a 4-bagger. 5-bagger. I don't know. 4.5. Whatever. Good enough. So, yeah, I don't know. Keep it in mind. Could be real. Could be real. I living on a prayer, for sure. Don't think we'll make it there anytime soon. Yeah, this is, of course, nobody knows. I don't know. Nobody knows. But there's most definitely a possibility. So we just want to keep that in mind. Yeah, if Bull does that, I think everyone's celebrating, especially the guy with 12,000 shares. Okay, let's go back to what we were looking at. Next up is Google. I don't have a whole lot to say on Google. I covered it at 255. This is not a cost basis. I need to double check this. I can't remember if I may have covered this at 252. I don't remember. So if it got called away at 252, so be it. I'm good with that. If it didn't, that's fine. It wasn't big dollars. It was a 1% or 0.5% play actually, because we had that big drop to 240. And now we're in a great spot. I'm going to sell CCs on it again next week and be really happy about the return that I can go for. But the chart here is still bullish. And yeah, we're back at all-time highs. I mean, this is good. This is good stuff. And we had a real nice green day on a day where not a whole lot else was, right? So real good short-term trend. And then, as you're going out, the macro is phenomenal. So, geez, look at that. That's a bull flag, by the way, right? So, boom. Boom. Bull flag on the weekly is bullish. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's not. But definitely some good stuff going on there. And Could be something. Could be something to think about. I'm gonna actually look at this more on Monday before I cover it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait because there could be further upside that we want to try to capture there. PayPal was green. Interesting. I haven't looked at PayPal in forever. Was this one Bob was buying leaps on? I feel like he was looking at leaps here. Maybe. I don't know. Could be a mega cup here too. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, Mitchie. All right, what do we got? Let me see if I missed any Discord chatters today. Nope, quiet there. Okay, cool. Next up, we talked hymns. We could talk Reddit. Reddit, I don't know. Reddit is not that exciting to me right now, believe it or not, because it's kind of like what we were talking about with Oscar, where we're coming up on earnings. So there's not a whole lot to look at. Now, the big thing here was we were holding the line at 200 really well, but now we've had a couple of days where we've dropped below it. So short term, we definitely could hit the we could hit this, and we're frankly not that far from the gap. We were only 161 to 185, right? Like, or 180, what did we drop to? 189? Okay. So that's not huge. We could feasibly touch that and back, or just touch it at earnings. If we do, I feel like we're just going to gap up again, of course. Oh, I could probably need to delete my cup and handle here, sadly. But regardless, we have earnings just coming up. It's the week after next on a Thursday. I hate Thursday afternoon earnings, by the way. So I'll probably sell a couple options. I don't know, maybe a few calls low delta just to have it do something. But again, I'm planning on being mostly uncovered for earnings, as I typically do with Reddit. We had a really solid one this last one, and I don't see any reason why we won't have that again, assuming Spez can talk intelligently to this decline, which is allegedly based on no longer being included in ChatGPT nearly as much. But I think he's going to have other news to share on this and other things of interest beyond ChatGPT. That's just my take, but we'll see. So yeah, that's it on Reddit. We'll keep playing it forever till we're at 500, and until then, I got nothing else. I do have NBIZ now at 125, which seemed like a good price, and I'm still not worried about it. I bet 125 even sells okay right now for next week. Let's take a look. Stop. Why did he go to November 14th? What a random ass date. I guess it's just going a month out. So 125. Bid ask is $2. That's insane. That's pretty good. That's over 1%. I'm cool with that. We'll see where we end up. I'll probably wait a little bit. Maybe we gap up at open. I think we're gonna have a similar thing with CoreWeave potentially. So all good there. Anyone else go with NBIZ? I know Showcase, but he's not. He's sleeping. Need a lot of help with Reddit RDTL. Yeah, in my head, RDTL has moved to long term. You just gotta wait. I'm not concerned long term, but it's tied up, and that is, that's probably a worthwhile risk to talk about on swing trades in general. That was based off a swing trade, so yeah, you can get stuck with stuff, but that's why no matter what it is you're trading, it's better if you like it, because then I don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? I did add Costco to the watch list, by the way. I just was seeing that, and I'm kind of interested, but still not touching it quite yet. I need to do some more digging on this one before I mess with it at all. But it's at like 1-year lows ish. But we had other stocks that I sold. Oh, ONS. I'm not avoiding it, I swear. I just was distracted by stupid sexy Costco. And then we had Ons, which was a bad play for sure. I got in at 10 CSPs while it was dropping. I was like, we'll probably just bounce again and stay in this range for a bit. I thought we might wedge further. But whatever. I don't really care. I could, again, these will be fine to sell low delta and or monthlies on until we inevitably end up back here. I think we will. I think they're too big name-wise in the news. The volume, the interest is still there. It's really not petering out quite yet from my perspective. But look, I mean, the RSI has been just green forever. Look at that. It's absurd. So it's due a big pullback, a big retest. And, by the time we get to earnings, I would be surprised if we're not back up here. So, whatever. Sorry for anyone else who might have thought that was a fantastic play and no longer likes me. Cost needs to split. It is expensive, dude. I don't want to sell options on it. It's freaking $90K a single option. But I might. I do like Costco. It's hard to position. So the problem is, unless you're talking like some of the real big ports that we've got around the Discord, your position sizing is just too hard to manage. You can't, like, averaging down. What do you do? Like, I like having the ability to average down to 2 times. So, like, if I got ons at 10, okay, and this is a 1% position size, so like whatever, maybe it's 1.5%. I don't care at all. If it drops to 2, I'll sell $2 CSPs and bring my average down to $5. And then I could double down again, and if it went to like $1, and it would still be like a 5% position. That is really nice flexibility to have. The difference is you're obviously making more trades, more underlying that you're working with to try to manage that. It's the trade-off, right? But Costco, if I, with my port size, mess with it, I'm literally selling one contract and I'm at like 8%-ish. I'd have to think about exact numbers there. 7.5%. Haha, the math was easy, actually. So like to double down on it, if it dropped to say 850, well, now you're talking it's 14% position sizing. That's a lot, even for a company you like. If you're not, because at that point you've basically lost most flexibility you could have. I mean, I'd have to go to 3-4 contracts, which is now you're talking 30% position size. Ugh, that's a heavy stock, man. It's a heavy stock. I really want to do it. Oh wow, nobody told me NEM dropped. Why didn't you guys tell me NEM dropped? We might be able to get back in here. This isn't really a cup and handle. I just drew it to drive showcase notes, I think. We could delete this. Maybe it'll be a cup and handle one day, but not today. Yeah, it was due a pullback anyway, but yeah, could be a good future entry. I liked it at 80. I had it at 80, and I sold it at like 82. Oh well. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, don't forget NEM. Got it. Perfect. All right, that's it. Oh, wait. I said ETH A and IBIT. Well, we already talked about those. And then Leaps target is, I think, up right now. My target Leaps are ironically, this has been good. My target is still at $100. And we got a little bull flag going here. Will we pop? I don't know. I might get out earlier than 100. I don't know. I have on this less time than usual. Most of my leaps are annual. This one only goes to March, I think. I think they're March leaps, which would put them at the 20th. So not forever to get there. In fact, I don't think you'd even call these leaps technically. They're sub leaps. they're just calls, longer term calls, but not leaps. And I think this is still a possibility. ADMA has made a big effort to cross over the 21. Is it going to happen? I hope so, but we'll not know till Monday. And then if we start crossing over here, that's super bullish, and then I will hold. We might be cupping here too. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's not really cuppish, to be honest, the volume here. Maybe you need to go way out. I don't think so. Not really. No. Yeah, no, I don't see anything. So yeah, that's this is a value play for sure. More or less a swing trade. I forget how many contracts. 5 maybe? Yeah, 5. But right now it's in good shape. I think this is actually like $13 right now, so I'm up a little bit. No, you told Showcase. Damn it. Saul, you ready to start your day? Yeah, definitely slightly green now. TTD it keeps giving me false hope repeatedly, but I have forever on these. This was I got them here. I wish I doubled down here. So I suppose if we drop here again, I will double down. But my target is way up here, is to close the gap, and we tested the bottom of the gap. Very odd. So when we tested the bottom, I really thought we were going to continue, but yeah, it's kind of flipped again. So hard to say what's happening here. Most likely we need earnings. We need some good conversation from the CEO to pump things. Remember, TTDU is launched here, so that's kind of interesting. What does that chart look like? Yeah, a mess. Very, very short-lived, of course. I was a conspiracy theorist that this was launched just in time for it to go to the moon. And then that conspiracy was maybe true. Maybe someone made 50% off that. I'm sure some people did. I'm not sure they were able to sell at the top there, but But yeah, I mean, I'm holding on for quite some time here. No worries on TTD. UNH Leaps, man, they looked beautiful here. I thought about selling here. I know, Saul, you got out, so congrats on that. I thought about it here, but again, we just closed the gap in this case. Is my gap line wrong? I feel like it's got to go up here. There we go. We closed the gap. We touched it. And then we kind of like recoiled in fear that no, we're not ready for this yet, this commitment. So instead, we're hovering around this area. Again, I'm not worried, and we do have earnings coming up. I will most definitely be holding through earnings. But part of me was like, should I have sold? But then realistically, would I ever have bought back? I don't know. So Leaps is a interesting psychological test for yourself. Can you hold something for a year? Can you really look at something every day repeatedly for a year? I don't know. I'm finding out that it's tough. Lunar, I did the same thing with Lunar, and I got out here. Now, this was fine. I'm fine with how this transpired, and I wish I was online yesterday at all. I would have got back in for sure at 12 for sure. So I'm hoping we do touch the bottom handle again. But that leap was good till next year. So even selling at this profit, is that really the right move? But this is a weird case because I didn't draw it here. I said my target was 13 because that would be 100% profit, and actually would have hit it. If I just left a limit sell and walked away, it would have sold this week for the 100% profit. Instead, I sold it for like 85% profit, which again, directionally fine. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. But maybe it would have been better in this case to just set my limit sell and walk away and Is there a way to hide it and never look at it in Fidelity? I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to do. Or maybe I need to put Leaps in like a separate port altogether. I don't know. Things to think about. See you later, Alec. Thanks for stopping in, man. We are wrapping up here anyway. AI Leaps, they were doing something. Now they're not. They'll probably do something again eventually. They had a good couple of days and then a rough couple of days. You know, whatever. I have forever on these. Not really thinking about them at all. ADBG is maybe recovering. I don't know. We broke through that line of resistance, which was unfortunate on Adobe. What else we got? Applied. I don't have Applied, but I might play with it in the future. Same is true for ASPI. I'll probably do this. This I want to do. I got to make notes. This one I want to do. Can I make a... Ooh, there we go. I want to play this next week. CSPs, $9, ideally. That was fantastic. That was a cup and handle, by the way. And then I have CRM Leaps, too. I don't know what they're doing. They had a good couple of days, but then peeled off for reasons unknown. And GT petered out again. I thought we had a nice turning of a little tweezering maybe over here. Was not to be the case. And now I'm hoping that once again we got a shot at turning the tide. But brutal few days here on GT Leaps. I got 25 contracts. I've thought about doubling down, but at the same time, I'm like, how much do I really like Goodyear tire? Not that much. Do I really want to put more into it? And the answer is not really. So, anything else that I want to look at? Anything you all want to look at before we wrap up? You. What's you doing? Yu Hakusho. We tested the 21. Okay. This was a wild ride. And Walmart cup and handle. Oh, this was another cup and handle. This was... Oh, I forgot twice who came up with this one. Oh, Huma. Yeah. Let's look at that. How is that not on my watch list? I thought I had it on my watch list. Oh, and I have Leaps. I need to have it on my watch list. Oops, I put it way down. Too low. There we go. Right there. Yeah, I haven't looked at this chart in a while, actually. So I got my Leaps here. And we're not really doing much of anything right now. There may not be a whole lot until earnings. There was that huge spike in interest and volume, but let's see. No, not a whole lot. There was obviously the share offering, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's bullish. I think share offerings are bullish. There's, look, like here's how you need to look at it. You could have either had insider selling, or instead they said, no, let's tank our own stock price so we can invest more money on things that we think will make us more money. Like, that's bullish for sure. It doesn't feel bullish, and it doesn't look at mathematically, obviously, because you're diluting. But long term, that can't be anything but bullish. So, yeah, we've got a very tight consolidation of all the EMAs right now, and I think we're just looking for a breakout. We're wedging a bit, we'll see how this, I think we got to see how this transpires for another week or two. But, if you're not in Leaps yet, it seems like a fine place to be. I would probably consider doubling down on it. Maybe I will. If we drop, I'll probably double down on it. There's nothing like worrisome about it in my mind. Such a low market cap, though. You do need to make sure you're looking at this with through the lens of a penny stock. If we're honest, that market cap is just so low. So keep that in mind. Yeah, the share issuing, yep, for sure. I know, yeah, Young Ember's huge on it, which is cool, and he's had some real good picks. So let's hopefully that's the case this time as well. Yeah, I think I hit all my stuff. I'm noticing I'm missing CRM leaps. I got to clean up my spreadsheet this weekend. But yeah, it was a good week despite the insanity. And frankly, for me, it was kind of nice not watching the insanity. You know, that's part of it because Theta is just chunking away in the background for you. You don't have to watch. You don't have to you can stop yourself from getting emotional if you know that looking at it is going to make you emotional. Sure, it feels good when everything's green, but it doesn't always feel good when it's red, even if you think it's going to go green. And, you know, the heat map was misleading because a lot of small caps are red and not represented here, right? So you gotta really pick and choose how you want to intake your information all week long and how you want to use the strategy, because it should be improving your life, not detracting because you're hanging on every single 1% stock movement that is noise. Always zoom out, right? Like on any of these stocks, just like even this, well, maybe this is a bad example being the penny stock that it is, but like go to the weekly. Like, oh yeah, this is all still good, isn't it? Like, don't sweat it. You got so much time ahead of you, forever. We all have forever until we run out of time. We have forever. So yeah, that's my nonsensical advice for the weekend. Good lazy week, Salt, dude. That is the best. Yeah, well, that's for sure. Like my NOV is most definitely down right now because I have leaps, I have leverage, I don't have margin. I don't do margin. Plenty of underlyings down. When you get assigned in a CSP, you're gonna be red. Like that's what happens. The stock was down, you get the shares. And then the idea is the stock will go back up, and it will, generally, unless you're buying Enron, right? Or A tier, or whatever. Whatever happened to A tier? So, you know, when that happens, just have patience. Ain't nothing happening here. Oh, man. There's still some volume, though. Someone's playing with it. Bag holders, I guess. Jeez. The crazy thing is somebody bought at 69 cents and probably sold at $1. That's not a bad return, like dollar for dollar percent wise. That is not bad. Oh, ASTS is another one that I wanted to look at. Wow. And somehow didn't close the gap. I would not touch ASTS for one until this gap is closed. So 75 is probably the new floor in my mind. But I might touch it at 75. Seems crazy. Probably not. I'll probably wait for things to cool. This might be a couple months. You know, we're going to get reminded that they don't make any money on the earnings call. And everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, why did I ever buy that at 75? Still realized over 0.5%. Good. Is that 0.5% or 5%? I don't know. Or is that 0.05%? I can't tell. How on earth were you playing that 3 weeks? Dude, same with all of us, man. Ugh. I had ASTS in the 20s down here for a little while. If only I had the conviction that Trogdor had. I could have 4x'd. Not that I would have known where to sell. 5x'd. Jeez. Yeah. He bought it. Did you see his share price is like here? It's like the couple dollar range. He went all in. Like $1 million. That's insane. Like, how do you have that conviction? What a wild ride. I really hope he sold. Like, look, I love Reddit. But if it hits 500, I'm probably out most of it and just move on to something else. Like that's the value I see. And maybe there's a compelling vision that goes like, maybe really $600-700 is going to be the long-term price that I think it should go to. But dude, it gets to 500, I'm out. I'm telling you. I mean, that's just at some point you got to pick an exit point. Otherwise, what are you doing? Psychopath. Right? Like, come on. Anyway. Yeah, I know he didn't consider selling below 100. I saw the comment where he wrote that. Um, I would say that half at least should be sold at 100, and hopefully he did. I don't think he did. But, geez, dude. How much money do you need? I don't know. Like, I love what we're doing, but there comes a point where what are you doing it for? It did hit 100, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it hit 102 intraday. It ended one day at 95, closed that. So I'm on the daily, right? Yeah. But it was over 100 for a period of a day, and you could have sold a lot of shares at that price, I'm sure. Now, I don't think he could have sold $26 million worth at 100. That the volume there for the day was what, 14 million in shares. I don't know. Maybe he could have. Maybe he could have. I think he would have dropped the price just because of his own volume. He turned into a whale, basically. That would definitely move the stock price for exit liquidity. Yeah, well, yeah, of course, now he's at 25, 22. Here he was at 26. And now he's a poor man at. So he made like 2 million in a day, that one day, and that was here, like one of these days. And then it gapped up and he was up like 5 million in a day or something absurd. Maybe it was 4 million. It's like, dude, sell some. God, what is wrong with you? Whatever. It's not my money. I don't care. I really don't. But yeah, that's everything I got. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about? If not, I think that's probably going to be it for tonight. Went for an hour and a half. Actually, slightly longer than I thought we were going to go. Yeah, at least buy a Lambo and put ASTS on the license plate. Thanks, ASTS. Be that like the early Bitcoin bros that sold at 20,000. We're like, we're rich. Yep, you are. You were. You would still be. But yeah, I enjoyed this as always. Wild week. We'll have more wild weeks ahead of us, I think. Probably another couple. And we're back into pretty heavy earnings weeks. I don't know if you looked at on the Discord the upcoming earnings, but there's some big ones coming. The weeks are packing up again for the next probably month. So look forward to that. There'll probably be some good opportunities. But also just be careful. A lot of these small cappers are pulling back and testing back. They had flown so much. I don't think it's anything to worry about long term, but I do think it's a normal part of the process when these things have run the way that they have. And you could see it on a lot of big runners on the watch list. You know, like a lot of anything that has a exponential looking chart are doing these pullbacks. And I mean, even if I'm in them, I need to click them and show you that, yeah, they're all, a lot of these are doing big old pullbacks, right, that you got to be worried about. Rocket Lab, not so bad on Rocket Lab, actually. Impressive. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. You all have a good night, as always. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on the Discord this weekend. Don't forget, Monday, we start week 3. For those of you who are in the option selling course who have never sold an option or just relearning the basics, reinforcing the basics, maybe filling in the gaps that you might have. And we like to fill gaps. Hey, all time. Thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate you. So, yeah, have a good weekend. And with that, I'm going to probably leave